Edward Gough Whitlam, usually known as Gough Whitlam, was born in July 1916 and died in October 2014, serving as the 21st Prime Minister of Australia from 1972 to 1975. He led the Labour Party from 1967 to 1977, but the conflict over legislative proposals, especially budget ones, between the Australian House of Representatives, where the Laborites had a majority, and the Australian Senate, where the Liberal Country coalition held a majority, led to his controversial dismissal by the Governor-General of Australia, Sir John Kerr. He remains the only Australian Prime Minister to have had his commission terminated in that manner. He was first elected to the Australian House of Representatives in 1952. During his nearly 3 years as Prime Minister, from December 1972 to November 1975, he, for example, terminated military conscription, instituted universal health care or national health insurance or federal health insurance, and free university education, and implemented legal aid programs. The Australian economy was flagging during much of his brief prime ministership because of the 1973 oil crisis and the 1973 to 1975 recession. He retired from Parliament in 1978. After the Hawke government was elected in 1983, he was appointed as ambassador to UNESCO, and he was successful in that position. He remained active into his 90s. The propriety and circumstances of his dismissal and the legacy of his government have been frequently debated in the decades after he left office. He was appointed chairman of the National Gallery of Australia in 1987. John Kerr, the man who had dismissed him as Prime Minister, died in 1991. He and Whitlam unfortunately never reconciled, but because Whitlam always saw his dismissal from office as a constitutional coup d'etat. Whitlam supported fixed 4-year terms for both houses of Parliament. In 2007, he testified at an inquest into the death of Brian Peters, one of 5 Australia-based TV personnel killed in East Timor in October 1975. So far, he has been the longest-lived Australian Prime Minister. He lived to the age of 98 years.